The following program is for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Drugs, sex, and 8 unsolved deaths.
There ain't a day that goes by I don't think of her.
8 women from Jeff Davis Parish left dead and dumped. All were part of a dangerous culture of drugs and sex.
Men pick me up on the streets, and I go and I handle, sexual favors for money or drugs.
A large investigation was launched to solve the mystery, but still no answers, just mounting frustration among some in the community.
There's no public confidence. When you go around town and you ask people around here, they have no confidence in the task force or the sheriff's department.
And what about this man called a person of interest by investigators?
Did you take a polygraph test?
Yes, I have.
How'd you do on it?
I'm still on the street.
How long will this mystery remain unsolved? Good evening, I'm Cynthia Arceneaux in downtown Jennings. Tonight we're going to delve deeper into this mystery. We'll explore the so-called high-risk lifestyle the victims led and take a close look at the sometimes controversial investigation into these deaths. The mystery all began back in 2005 when the first body was discovered. KPLC's Teresa Schmidt has this part of the story.
A fisherman made the first gruesome discovery May 20th, 2005, in a canal off Highway 1126. The victim is 28-year-old Loretta Chaisson Lewis, last seen alive 3 days earlier. Her body was too decomposed to determine a cause of death, but authorities say drugs and a high level of alcohol are in her system. Less than a month later, victim 2. The partially nude body of Ernestine Patterson is found in a canal off Highway 102, June 18, 2005, 2 days after she disappeared. Authorities say her throat was cut. In 2006, 2 men were arrested and indicted in connection with Patterson's death, but charges against Byron Chad Jones and Lawrence Nixon are dismissed. The official reason, a lack of evidence and unreliable witnesses. A year and 9 months later, the nude body of victim 3, Kristen Lopez, is discovered by a fisherman in a canal off Highway 99. Again, the body is too decomposed to determine a cause of death, but drugs were found in her system. Lopez is the cousin of 17-year-old Brittany Gary, who would later die. Victim 4 is Whitney Dubois, found nearly 2 months later, May 12, 2007. Her nude body is found dumped on a rural road. The body is too decomposed to determine the cause of death. They used her fingerprints to identify her. Her grief-stricken brother, Mike Dubois, said then his little sister was a lost soul.
She was in the drug world, bad. We tried helping her. We tried getting her help.
Soon after Whitney's death, Frankie Richard and his niece are arrested. Frankie was named as a person of interest because he had contact with 3 of the women before their deaths. Both Richard and his niece go free after a witness recants her story. Then on May 29, 2008, a police officer finds 23-year-old Laconia Muggy Brown. Her throat had been cut. Then on September 11, 2008, hunters find the body of victim 6 in a dry irrigation canal. Crystal Shay Benoit Zeno had been asphyxiated. Scarcely 2 months later, victim 7, 17-year-old Brittany Gary, is last seen on surveillance video at a store. Her mother, Teresa Gary, pleads for anyone with information to come forward.
So I'm asking anyone out there, if you have seen Brittany, please, I'm begging you, please call me.
Family and friends search for Brittany. It ends on November 15, 2008. Brittany's body is found in a field off Highway 1126. It's a homicide with the cause of death ruled asphyxia and mixed drug intoxication. Finally, August 19, 2009, off Interstate 10 in Acadia Parish, the body of victim 8, Necole Guillory, is found just 2 weeks before her 27th birthday. It's ruled a homicide caused by asphyxiation. It's an eerie coincidence that surveillance video shot by a private eye investigating the deaths captured images of Guillory just before she would become a victim. Guillory is seen in an area frequented by many of the women. While autopsies did not conclude all deaths were homicides, the sheriff says investigators are treating them as such. While Sheriff Ricky Edwards says all along they've sought help and used resources from other agencies, in late 2008 a multi-agency investigative team or task force was made official.
We follow every lead. We have the resources from the FBI. We have resources from the state police. In addition to the FBI, we have their behavioral analysis unit. So we have resources that are available to us from all walks of life.
Edwards says 14 local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies are working together to bring those responsible to justice. We'll have more on Frankie Richard, the man named as a person of interest back in 2007, and the woman whose statement led to his arrest and why she says she lied.
Thanks, Teresa. You know, this dark cloud that hangs over Jeff Davis Parish is all that people are talking about. But how many of us really know the young women? How many of us know about the tragedy that their families are feeling? We sat down with family members of all of the victims to get a closer look at the lives behind the headlines.
Oh, I wake up with her on my mind. I go to bed with her on my mind. It's my life. I mean, she's gone now. I have no closure.
Melissa Gary deals with the heartache and pain one day at a time. Her daughter was 21-year-old Kristen Gary Lopez, a young woman who, as a little girl growing up, was no different than any other.
She was a loving child. She was my baby.
But trouble began early on. Kristen dropped out of school in the 8th grade, and things just weren't right.
He tried to talk to her, and we all did. I mean, I did, my family, her dad, his family, her godparents. I mean, she would listen for a little while, but when I guess she got that urge.
Drugs were a very real part of Kristen's life. All of the young women's lives, and they all moved in the same circles to get those drugs. In fact, they knew each other, so Kristen herself was called in when the first victim, Loretta Chaisson, was found.
When they found Loretta, they called, I remember if it was the same day or the next day, for them to interview Kristen. We were living in Welch, and I had to bring Kristen to them talk. You could tell she was scared, but she never would tell me anything because I've asked her. Knew is there something bothering, but she just never would tell me.
An uneasy feeling that her daughter was keeping something inside. But if she was, she would take it to the grave. Oddly enough, family members of other victims tell similar stories.
She would always tell us that, that she wouldn't live long, and she knew that, wouldn't tell us nothing, but she knew.
26-year-old Necole Guillory, the latest victim found this past August. Necole was the mother of 4 children, the youngest who just turned 1. Her mother, Barbara, admits life wasn't easy for Necole. Necole dropped out of school in the 7th grade.
The family life, we were not together with her daddy. We were apart more than anything, and she, I guess, took that hard. She had trouble, I guess, accepting it.
But in spite of it all, her sister Jessica expresses hope.
They might have took Necole, but they did not take the memories. They did not take her spiritually away. She's still here. I feel her. It's like I can hear her stomping down the hall sometimes. They couldn't, no matter how much they try, they can never take that away.
Who was Ernestine Daniels Patterson? Her younger sister Jessica remembers a happier time for her family.
She was funny, very respectable. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. She helped people. They need help.
But drugs managed to creep into Ernestine's life as well. She was a mother of 4 who her parents say really loved her children, but a downward spiral had begun.
Cut her throat. I don't think she deserved that, because that's not right in God's sight. And that hurts a lot. I can't rest at night. It hurts a lot. It bothers me. It hurts.
There was definitely danger all around Ernestine. Jessica recalls what happened one night when she and her sister were walking home and strange men drove up offering a ride and drugs.
Want some crack? Y'all want some weed? Y'all ain't nothing but some bees. Y'all ain't nothing but some hoes.
They escaped danger that night, but Ernestine's sister says she'll never forget it.
He said he gonna catch one of us and kill us, and came home. I told my mom and them, called the police. Police told me I really can't do nothing because, you know, I really didn't have a name. I didn't have his name, but I seen his face, and I still remember that man's face from the day. I remember the car, everything. He had black gloves on, white shirt, pants, boots, a beard, bald head with blue eyes.
Unfortunately for the Daniels, they haven't seen their 4 grandchildren since Ernestine's death over 4 years ago. So their only memory of Ernestine are her ashes that they cling to in this tiny black box.
They found another body, and the description matches Whitney, and she told me, you need to get here right now.